Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
It takes a mighty fire to create a great people. It takes a mighty fire to smelt true steel. To create and temper steel needs patience and endurance. But oh, what steel and what a people are my people. The mold is not yet made, perhaps, that can unite and make my people one. But more important than the mold is the temper of the steel, the spirit of my people. There's a vitality, a quality of living that knows no equal. It is difficult steel to smelt. They are crude and simple, dark and deep. But oh, what steel and what a people are my people. And when that steel is smelted, and when that steel is tempered, and when that steel is cast, oh, what a people shall my people be.
I saw my land in the morning, and oh, but she was fair. The hills flamed upwards warning, death and failure here. I saw through the midst of morning a wave like a sea set free, faith to the dawn returning, dark tide bright unity. I saw my friends in the morning, they come from an equal grade, build low once time is burning, forward before it's late. I saw through the mist of morning a wave like a sea set free, faith to the dawn returning, dark twilight unity.
2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, a decade of action for road safety. It's the 19th day of the 10th month of 2022, the International Year of Sustainable Mountain Development, the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Glass, and the International Year of Artisanal Fisheries and Aquaculture. Put another way, it's the 19th day of the 5th month of the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season, and according to the National Meteorological Service here in Jamaica, there's a trough across the island. The trough is expected to remain across the island for the next few days. Expect isolated showers and thunderstorms across north central and western parishes, elsewhere partly cloudy. October is still being observed as a Red Cross Month, Lupus Awareness Month, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month, Oral Health Month, National Egg Month, Manufacturers Month, Correctional Services Month, Cybersecurity Month, and Domestic Violence Awareness Month. October is also Black History Month in the United Kingdom, and according to the National Library of Jamaica, October is Legal Deposit Month. It encourages every national publisher in Jamaica to, within 1 month of publication of any document which he or she publishes in Jamaica, deposit in the legal depository of the National Library the number of copies specified. October is also National Heritage Month. And this week is Heritage Week and Credit Union Week. Constitution celebrations are on in Niue. It's Samora Machel Day in Mozambique and Mother Teresa Day in Albania. Hoy es miércoles el 19 de octubre de 2022 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones, y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15. The Caribbean Maritime University, an ISO certified institution, offers Bachelor of Science degrees in cruise shipping, Bachelor of Engineering degrees, logistics, marine tourism, port management, security administration and management, and more. For further information, call 876-924-8150, 876-924-8175, or email info@cmu.edu.jm. Looking for signage and branding for your business? Call the experts at Hieroglyphics Limited, located at 14 Bellatra Avenue, Kingston 10. We do all types of signs, including backlit signs, metal signs, routed signs, channel letter signs, vehicle wraps, banners, and much more. Call us today at 876-906-6910 or 876-906-8196. Hieroglyphics Limited, taking you to the next level.
We are looking for you, new voices,
New faces,
for your favorite show, and new ones too.
all ages, all stages.
So put your best foot forward and convince us that you fit the bill.
Come on down
To the great audition.
Saturday, October 22, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5.
9 a.m. to 1 p.m. See you then.
See you then.
See ya. Tune in every Thursday at 3:30 p.m. for Your Legal Corner with Dana Walker Huntington during Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm on Power 106 FM. It's your source of information regarding U.S. immigration matters, combined with Power 106 FM's pioneer of diaspora broadcasting. Call in with your U.S. immigration queries and concerns on 876-922-41125 or send a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598 and get the answers you need for your U.S. immigration questions. That's Your Legal Corner with Dana Walker Huntington, Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. during Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm, only on Power 106 FM.
C'est mercredi le 19 octobre 2022 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi, de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue! All you're saying is it's Wednesday, the 19th of October, 2022, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices, and that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, wherever, whenever. We thank those who have found other ways and means of tuning in, like the Gleaner's website, go-jamaica.com. Subscribers to onespotmedia.com also have access to Both Sides of the Story in particular and Power 106 FM in general. For those who wish to communicate with us on air, feel free to call us. The numbers are 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can also call us via WhatsApp. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. And apologies to those who weren't hearing earlier on because the microphone was muted, perhaps in packing up yesterday or setting up this afternoon. Sorry about that, but that's the only issue these days, when we mute and forget to unmute. But thank you for your patience and understanding in that regard. In the meantime, good afternoon to Desiree Miller. Good afternoon. Velta Wilson in St. Thomas. Good afternoon to you. Joan Edgehill is also on. Welcome. Hello as well to, well, Velta Wilson says from yesterday we've been experiencing similar problems with the audio. Yeah, it's just a matter of remembering to unmute Velta Wilson. That's it. And thank you, says Desiree Miller. Velta Wilson says it is better now. I am hearing. Norman Hines says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. Good afternoon, Norman Hines, also in St. Thomas. Thank you very much for tuning in, and all the very best. Hello to those on YouTube watching. Sean is greeting us. Good afternoon, Sean. And thank you very much for tuning in. Hello as well to those who have been sending us messages on YouTube. Well, not YouTube, on WhatsApp. We need to clear the WhatsApp messages. In fact, there are some leftover messages from yesterday. We weren't able to clear those. And now we must go through those messages that came in yesterday and those that came in today. And this one says, came in yesterday. Good day, Mr. Malcolm. Great job by Dr. Bailey. Maybe she'll bless the primary school that she attended in Jamaica with a few thousand US dollars if she hasn't already. But I suspect she might have. Indeed. Thanks for your message. That's from Crocs in Black River. Thank you very much. Gem Marjorie, otherwise known as Kim, Gem Marjorie Kim Messam, Gem Marjorie Kim Messam, has sent us a photo of Barbara Gludon and John Maxwell way back in the days. I think we saw this one before, though. I think so. And somebody, or the same Gem Marjorie Kim Messam says, Dervan, that Dear Pasta promo has been going for quite some time now. Full time, another one is used. Over to management. Thank you very much for your message. Going down the line to identify those messages pertinent to the day. Oh, this one is for Althea. So we need to forward this message to Althea Mackenzie, the doyen of Farm Talk and related matters. Let's see. So let's forward this message to Althea. There we go. Check your WhatsApp, Althea. So George, we have passed on your message to Althea Mackenzie. Steve in Toronto, Canada, is getting ready to join his colleagues in a discussion on prostate cancer. You can stay tuned and you will know when that is going to be aired. Multiple messages to clear. Bear with us as and come as close to the current messages as possible. Good afternoon to Roy. Good afternoon to Miss Nene. Good afternoon to Mrs. Phillips. Good afternoon to Pilmar Powell. We see another reminder here. St. Catherine's South Police Division, Waterford Police District, presenting Talent for Transformation through the Arts, the launch. And, oh, this is an invitation for me to be at the launch. I see what you mean. Well, we'll see what we can do. Thank you very much. And Pauline, otherwise known as Maxine, says blessings to you and everyone listening. To you too. Thank you. James in East London is regaling us with the usual collection of news items out of the UK. Downing Street in lockdown after suspicious package discovered. Nurse accused of baby murders says taking body to mortuary was the most difficult thing she'd ever done. Truss makes groveling apology for mini budget shambles at PM question time. Oh dear. Like we said yesterday, if you elect a clown, expect a circus. What a thing. Foreign Secretary says attack on protester at Chinese consulate unacceptable. Video report by ITV Granada reports political correspondent Lise McNally, the UK, has summoned the Chinese ambassador's deputy to demand an explanation after a Hong Kong pro-democracy protester was allegedly attacked on the grounds of the Chinese consulate in Manchester, in the UK. Home Office takes over 4-star hotel to host asylum seekers. Suella Braverman departs as UK Home Secretary. Classic case, perhaps, of things fall apart. The center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The dimmed tide, okay, can I remember the rest of it? Is loosed, and everywhere something of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are filled with passionate intensity. Crocs in Black River says, greetings. One person has been arrested so far in the case of the illegal sale of lands at Bernard Lodge, but we have heard that the police are interested in 3 or 4 others. Are those people fugitives, or are they off the island? Will they be named as persons of interest, since they were branded by the Prime Minister as being a part of the Klansman gang? And finally, are we to assume that the principal from a school in the Prime Minister's constituency is also a leading member of the Klansman gang? All pertinent questions, Crocs in Black River. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. Want new wheels? Massive Auto Parts and Car Sales has your cars, car parts, and accessories. Visit 158 Main Street, Ocheria, Pineapple Place, or call 876-298-6413. In light of the coronavirus, Massive Auto Parts and Car Sales is asking drivers on the road to be careful and to be safe. Massive Auto Parts and Car Sales.
That's it.
Quality parts and cars.
Yeah. But you know, when I first heard the story of this principle, straight off, what I established was a link. Once I heard where this principle was, and I'm saying, but hold on there. Yeah, they have a problem of micromanaging, you know. Big problem.
World Food Day is celebrated annually on October 16 to promote global awareness and action for those who suffer from hunger and to highlight the need to ensure healthy diets for
Yeah,
all. This
that's
Thursday,
right.
October 20, the Ministry
I
of
think the
Agriculture and
party
Fisheries will
itself has a
celebrate
history
Day
of
of
doing that,
Leave
of
no one behind.
micromanaging.
Better production,
There's a
better
history.
culture, a better
Yeah,
environment, and a better life. And
yeah,
prepare to
yeah.
Legal High School in Clarendon. Join Power
I
106
thought you were
FM
going to
for
say
special
another
live
C.
broadcast
It's
of
like a
Power Talk,
curse.
when we'll tell you all about it. This broadcast is brought to you by the Ministry of Agriculture and
Yeah.
Fisheries, Sugar Aggregates, and the Sugar
Mm.
Industry Authority. That's a broadcast of Power Talk.
Yeah.
We're technical
They're not learning.
celebrating World Food Day this Thursday, October 20.
Not learning.
Here on Power 106
Mhm.
FM.
My Savior set free, faith to the dawn returning, God's great unity.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. We started out this afternoon by reciting H.D. Carberry's It Takes a Mighty Fire. It Takes a Mighty Fire by H.D. Carberry. And the theme song this afternoon, I Saw My Land in the Morning by Jimmy Tucker. Good afternoon to those just joining us. Hello to Norman Hines. I think we did say hi to Norman Hines already. Sharon Richards in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland says, pleasant Wednesday afternoon, Sir Malcolm, and all listeners out there. I greet you all well on this beautiful day. The word is love, says Sharon Richards. Faye Weller says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. I'm here listening. Good afternoon, Faye Weller. Good to have you joining us on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Over on YouTube, Cherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Have a blessed Wednesday. To you too, Cherry Henry. Asher Ash says, hi, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Just tuning in from London, England. Welcome, Asher Ash, and all the other Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica tuning in from London, England. Let's see who else is messaging us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Whatever is on your mind, please share. 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. The Gleaners website has as its trending story, lead story now on the Jamaica-Gleaner.com website, 1 killed, 6 injured in St. Anne drive-by shooting. This story was published this afternoon at 1:35. The story is that 1 man has been confirmed dead and 6 others injured in a drive-by shooting in the quiet farming community of Orange Hill, St. Anne, this afternoon. It's reported that shortly before 1 p.m., a group of men were at a shop in the district when a motor car drove up and shots were fired from the vehicle, hitting the men. The vehicle sped away and the police were called. And Rasbert Turner is the reporter, and he tells us more soon. Another tragedy becomes even more tragic. Mother of 4-year-old fire victim also succumbs to burn injuries. Condolences to that family. And let's just step across to the United States for a moment. Advocates warn court ruling on DACA cruelly endangers Caribbean immigrants. The New York Immigration Coalition, NYIC, has denounced a federal district judge ruling on the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals DACA program, saying that it cruelly endangers the lives of millions of Caribbean and other immigrants who arrived in the United States as children. Justice Andrew Hannon of the United States District Court for the Southern District of Texas has issued an injunction preventing the Biden administration's recent DACA regulation from taking effect. Essentially, Judge Hannon's order will allow DACA renewals to proceed, but denies first-time DACA applications. DACA is an exercise of prosecutorial discretion, providing temporary relief from deportation, which is referred to as deferred action, and work authorization to certain young undocumented immigrants. The program was created on June 15, 2012 by former U.S. President Barack Obama, but his successor, Donald Trump, sought to rescind it. Many immigrant groups have since been challenging Trump's decision in various federal courts across the United States. DACA does not provide permanent legal status to individuals and must be renewed every 2 years. The decision from Judge Hannon is a clear injustice for the millions of people who are American in every way except for their legal status. Words there of Murad Awade, NYIC's executive director. He said, despite contributing to the country, raising families, paying taxes, and joining the workforce, DACA holders and dreamers remain under constant threat by Republican leaders and conservative courts. Judge Hannon's far-right ruling is a direct assault on the lives of 1.2 million people and their families, and is a national disgrace. As conservative courts continue to be hostile to dreamers, this latest ruling only illustrates the extent of their anti-immigrant agenda, said Awade, whose NYIC is the umbrella organization that represents more than 200 immigrant groups in New York. And the story goes on. You can read on. That's one of the stories trending on the Gleaner's website, jamaica-gleaner.com. And I thought that was another update. Right. No, I thought that was another update. Let's move on. In the parish of St. James, construction worker shot dead. That's one of the latest stories coming out of St. James. A 44-year-old construction worker was shot and killed on Coke Road in Glendevon, St. James yesterday morning. He's been identified as Rohan James, otherwise called Rani, of the Coke Road community. Reports by the Montego Bay Police are that about 7:45 a.m. James was on his way to work when he was approached by two alleged gunmen. The men reportedly chased James into a yard where they shot him more than a dozen times before escaping on foot. The police were called and James was transported to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The loss of any life, as we always say on this program, is to be regretted. Condolences. Continuing with more on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Patrick Howell on YouTube says, Mr. Malcolm, good afternoon. London Bridge is falling down. Please finish this nursery rhyme. The world is changing. We're quite familiar with the nursery rhyme. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. Yeah, that's as much as we remember. Well, only the people of the UK can fix the UK right now. We wish them well. We wish them well. Text line and the WhatsApp number, one and the same. 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Nardia says, blessing, Mr. Malcolm. You're doing a great job. Please keep it up. I would like to send belated birthday greetings to my cousin, Victoria Powell, Vicky. She's living in England. Hope she enjoyed herself. More blessings, cuz. Enough love. Please say hi to Auntie for me, Mrs. Powell. Thank you, Sir Malcolm. You have a blessed afternoon. Thank you very much, Nardia, for your message and belated birthday greetings to Victoria Powell, Vicky, your cousin. All the best. Continuing with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Let's give you some more news out of Jamaica here on Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And we did convey birthday wishes to Davin off air, and we're doing it on air now. Happy birthday to Davin Thomas, long-standing program assistant here at Power 106 FM. He's celebrating a birthday today. Seems, well, we have known for a little while now that we have a few October people here at Power 106 FM. Oh, today's Flowers. Yes, how could I forget? Richard Flowers' birthday. I was trying to remember who else. Richard Flowers, one of our broadcast engineers. Today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Richie Flowers. The only program assistant or engineer who can tell the world that he helped an expectant mother to give birth. Well done, Richie Flowers. That would make you an expert now, right? Or would it? Let's see. A couple of local stories. Some of these stories, people hardly ever pay attention to them because it's not blood and gore. But this one relates to food manufacturers in the region. Regional food manufacturers are to benefit from new JANAC accreditation scheme. JANAC stands for the Jamaica National Agency for Accreditation, and they're encouraging food certification bodies to get accredited under its new accreditation scheme. The United States Food and Drug Administration accredited third-party certification program, FDA TPP, to facilitate market access. The regional manufacturers producing food for export to the United States. I think we're going to forward this press release to Althea McKenzie as well, because it's very much related to Farm Talk. Let's take the break and come back with more in just a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
Importers, the Jamaica Customs Agency is reforming its clearance process, making it easier for you to clear your non-commercial and small value items using our simplified declarations. You will be able to clear your goods without physically visiting the port or a warehouse for customs inspection, making your clearance experience even better. The pilot begins October 2022 across all marine public bonded warehouses. For further details, email Jamaica Customs at contactlessclearance@jca.gov.jm or telephone 876-922-51408. We're here to serve you. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Tune in to Farm Talk every second and third Tuesday of each month
Yes,
at
sir.
6:18 a.m.
Fine,
for the
thanks.
feature
Let me
High
mute
Pro
this
Food
microphone,
Independence.
please.
No problem.
High Pro Food Independence
Uh-huh.
will focus on solutions for farmers, such as land, animal
Marketing,
husbandry,
up to
agronomy,
their
and more.
usual
That's
shenanigans.
High
I
Pro
got me
Food
now.
Independence
We
every second and third Tuesday from
the
6:18
Douglas
to
Orin lecture
6:30 a.m. during
is
Farm
tomorrow.
Talk,
Grace Kennedy
only
lecture.
on
Yeah,
Power
not only
106
Douglas
FM.
Orin.
High
Douglas
Pro Food
Orin and Don Webby.
Independence is sponsored
Yes.
by
So
High
that'll
Pro.
be tomorrow, right?
Mm.
Could we possibly get a brief interview with you a bit later?
Sure. Whenever you're ready.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I will be in touch.
All right. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. So as we indicated, we want to go to a couple of the other stories that have come in within the last 24 to 48 hours. We've also had the reports from the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, among others. Let's go to the phone lines now, though. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello.
How are you doing? And
I am fine, thanks. Thank you very much for joining us.
The thing sound rough. Let them move from my location.
Yes, the line is not so hot.
Are you hearing better now?
A little.
What are you going to do?
Well, that's a little better now, Mr. Francis. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, just saying greetings to you and your staff, and hope you're all well.
Thank you very much on their behalf, and we're well, thanks.
And to all the public sector workers who are impatient about wage increase, asking them to hold on tight. It will soon be done.
So we should be. They should all be singing that song now. It soon be done. Is it time to start singing?
And I really love this song. But what I call you about,
Mm-hmm.
that song when I was 7 years in school, and I would like to give you a shout at it and so that we would get administrative.
Oh dear, we would really wish for this line, the quality of the audio to be improved. Can you hold the line, please? Have a word with our program assistant, and let's see if we can clean up that line or get you on another line, because we want to hear what you're saying, Mr. Francis. Sorry about that. It's very important. If people are listening, people would like to hear. And when people are listening and they're not hearing or not hearing anything, it can be quite discombobulating and unnerving. And therefore, we usually try to make sure the connection is up to par in keeping with international standards. We need to be able to hear what people are saying as opposed to having to speculate about whatever they're saying. How about that? Right, let's continue. Good afternoon, Jacqueline Simmons. We see you. Thank you very much for joining us here on Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. We really admire the work of Statin. It's a lot of work to do this kind of data gathering and analyses and break it down as best as possible so everybody can understand. And this is looking at the international merchandise trade. This is one of the latest bulletins from the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, and total showing us that total imports from the period covered is January to June 2022 and compared with the similar period last year. Total imports so far, January to June, valued at $3,758.2 million, and this is more than 2021. So we're importing more, we're importing just under $1 billion more of items into the country, comparing the period January to June 2022 with the period January to June 2021. As far as exports are concerned, just a slight increase in exports compared to last year. But as of the period January to June 2022, exports were valued at $801 million. So the disparity is quite evident. We need to export more, import less. Hello, Mr. Francis, are you on a better line now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, that's much better. That's much better. So I was asking if it's time to. You said you wanted to go to a song. You were remembering a song that.
Yes, from I was 7 years in school, and I want the song to be promoted somewhere down the road. It has been on my heart over 2 years now. I will tell you what it sounds like. So go to a studio, get the Ministry of Education to put it back in the school, to the classroom, to give this classroom some life and the children some energy. It goes like this. Do you see the black cynic running down the street? How he's making shoes for all the horses' feet? And the heavy armor floating on the race. And the heavy armor with a cling, clang, cling. Now when you reach the cling, clang, cling, now the children all get up and say, cling, clang, cling. Is how we sing. Armor burns bright and on the ring. Armor's blue, while the bellows blue. And the cling, clang, cling. And then all the clouds get up, cling, clang, cling. And it was it was the nicest thing I've ever heard in my life. And 3 years now it's done me. I just wanted to know who could look at it, just get it back to some studio or Ministry of Education, to get it back into the classroom, to wake up the children, give them some energy, you know?
Is it possible to send us a portion of those lyrics via WhatsApp?
I will have to try and do that.
Yes, and then we'll see if we can use those lyrics in one of these search engines to see what we come up with.
But because it's really about the black cynic, you know.
Yes.
You are young, you would know. Your mother will tell you about it. He's out there with the hammer.
Sorry, the line is getting bubbly again, Mr. Francis.
Yes, it's about hammering his way out, making shoes for horses' feet, you know?
Yes. Yes, as we've suggested, if you could just type a few lines from what you remember and just send it to us on WhatsApp, please.
Yes, man, I'm going to do that.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. You can also send us your text messages and your WhatsApp messages, as we said, or you can call the regular lines as well, 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. And there's so much flowing in right now in terms of information, some of which we'd like to share with you at some point. We started a while ago with some of the findings of the latest the international trade matters. And now we're looking at the CPI that was published yesterday as well, the Consumer Price Index. Most people, perhaps because they don't have the time or they don't care enough to check on these numbers, most of them only come to grips with the numbers when something is obviously out of place or out of line or unexpected, like the cost of food and other items and services. And once we start to feel that pinch, then and only then do we start paying attention. But we have to be alert to these matters because our lives depend on them. So let's think on these things as we continue in our journey here in Jamaica, land we love. Continuing with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Take 76922-4112-5. It's 24112-5. The text line, WhatsApp number. Good afternoon, Jennifer Stewart from Q Road in Kencott, East Central St. Andrew. Good to have you on board. Thank you very much for joining us here on Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. And let's see who else is hopping on. Patrick Howell has another message here. He says, Mr. Malcolm, please ask Althea to remind the Agriculture Minister, Mr. Charles, that I am still waiting for his assistance of 1,000 feet of fencing for my farm in South Clarendon. Animals are killing onion. All right, well, let's see if we can forward this message as well. Patrick Howell. Let's see if we can share this message as well in a little while. Standing by now for the break, and in fact, we're going to take that break and come back with more in just a moment. I saw through the mist of morning, awake like the sleep set free.
Coast to Coast Concrete, the high quality concrete for fencing, roofing, foundation, and road surfacing. Call 876-754-7472. The time by Coast to Coast Concrete is
3 o'clock.
I saw my friends in the morning, they called for an equal day.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And taking your calls on 876-922-4112 876 922 4112 Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us via WhatsApp. Well, look at this story now coming out of the US. Wisconsin group asks Supreme Court to block Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. Can you believe that? Biden forgave $10,000 in student debt. Is 10,000 or 10 million in student debt? People flooded TikTok with their reactions. And the new IRS rules mean your paycheck could be bigger next year. That's another story. And some recent Disney price hikes outpace inflation, but the crowds keep coming for now. Biden tries to tackle his gas price problem by announcing the sale of 15 million barrels from Strategic Petroleum Reserve. There was a story I saw yesterday which I wanted to share. And it's trying to bring that up from CNN. And it's related. Some women might have an interest in that particular story because it's related to their hair and particular liquids that they use and the implications, cancerous implications, quite frankly. And we hope to retrieve that story in particular to share with you. And we're still trying to pull it up while we are on air right now. But it's one that is worth reading. And we thought of sharing it with you, our faithful listeners at home and abroad. We haven't been able to bring it up just yet. All right, we'll have to come back to that. But thank you very much. Let's keep the program going. 876-922-4112 the text line, the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can also call us via WhatsApp. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. And for those who follow local theater, another of the items coming into our inbox is the Actor Boy Awards. And it looks as if that will be happening again as an event. So let's see how that works for those who are into the arts. There is a lecture that is going to be taking place tomorrow, the Grace Kennedy Lecture, and it's going to be delivered, as I'm remembering it, by Senator Don Webby and Douglas O'Rain. And that should be quite something. And it has to do with the Grace Kennedy story and the Grace Kennedy approach to business, etc. And speaking of lectures, there is a lecture tomorrow. Social advocate Professor Rosalie Hamilton will be speaking at the St. Luke's annual lecture tomorrow, Thursday, the 20th of October, at 5:30 in the afternoon at St. Luke's Church on Slipe Road. So that's coming up. There's a story just coming out of the Bahamas in relation to a Jamaican woman. A Jamaican woman gets 42-year sentence for killing girlfriend in the Bahamas. A Jamaican woman is expected to appeal her conviction and 42-year prison sentence for murdering her girlfriend during a dispute in the Bahamas last year. The sentence was handed down on Nadisha Beckford by a judge in the Bahamas on Tuesday. Beckford was convicted in June this year of fatally stabbing 31-year-old Lakeisha Mackey in the parking lot of the Mayfair Hotel along West Bay Street on February 20, 2021. The wounded woman was taken to the hospital where she succumbed to her injuries 2 days later. Then I saw Guardian reported that at the trial where Beckford did not testify but relied on her record of an interview with the police, the Jamaican contended that she stabbed Mackey in self-defense. Beckford claimed the woman attacked her with a broken bottle, which she eventually managed to wrestle from her hands. The case for the prosecution involved the playing of an audio of a recorded conversation between Beckford and another person shortly after the stabbing incident. The Jamaican reportedly bragged about the stabbing of Mackey, describing herself as a vampire and saying she would drink Mackey's blood. "Call me when she dead," Beckford told the individual in the recording. The jurors were also shown a video in which Beckford confessed to killing Mackey, but claimed she was defending herself during the incident. However, the jury rejected Beckford's claim of self-defense and found her guilty of murder. When Beckford faced sentencing in the Bahamas yesterday, her attorney, public defender Dorsey McPhee, recommended that she be given a 12-year sentence, pointing out that his client was remorseful. But prosecutor Cassie Bethel scoffed at that recommended sentence by the defense and instead asked for a range of 40 to 45 years of imprisonment for the Jamaican. And the story goes on. And that one courtesy of Loop Jamaica News. And that one just came into our inbox. As we continue to share with you some of the trending stories, we're also taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5 on any subject you wish to tackle. Feel free, 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number. And here are a couple more stories coming in. The police have apprehended a suspect in connection with the shooting death of a woman and injuring of 9-year-old son in Spanish Town. The deceased is identified as 24-year-old Alicia Allwood of Mansfield Avenue in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. It was reported that their home was invaded by gunmen last Friday. Following initial investigations into the incident, police quickly identified and detained a suspect the following day. The suspect was picked up in Spanish Town, where he lives, the police say. And here is another. Joel Andem's son freed of drug charges. Tamoya Andem, son of incarcerated crime boss Joel Andem, was today found not guilty of drug charges in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. His co-accused, Zidane Douglas, was also found not guilty. The two were charged with possession, dealing, and trafficking ganja following an incident last year. The prosecution led evidence that on May 13, 2021, Andem and Douglas were passengers in a motor car that was stopped along Derrymore Road, St. Andrew, after the police observed a traffic breach by the driver. The police told the court that on approaching the car, there was a strong odor of ganja coming from the vehicle. As a result, a search was conducted. The search revealed one bag of ganja in the back seat of the car and 6 other bags in the trunk. The total weight of the ganja amounted to more than 100 pounds. Both men denied knowing that ganja was in the car, and in their defense, claimed that they had just been picked up by the driver and another passenger. This other passenger and the driver had pleaded guilty to the ganja before the start of the trial. Parish Judge Venice Blackstock Murray found Andem and Douglas not guilty of breaching the Dangerous Drugs Act. The parish judge said she found that the principal officer involved in the case had been discredited after cross-examination by King's Counsel Peter Champagny and Javed Grant, who appeared for Andem and Douglas, respectively. The judge also noted that the smell of ganja alone was not sufficient in law to find both men guilty. So that's another one. And the World Health Organization, WHO, is insisting that COVID-19 is still an international emergency. COVID-19 is still an international emergency. And the WHO says it is too early to lift the highest level alert for the COVID crisis, with the pandemic remaining a global health emergency despite recent progress. So the World Health Organization's Emergency Committee on COVID met last week and concluded that the pandemic still constitutes a public health emergency of international concern, a status which was declared in January 2020. So let's see at what stage. Well, we just have to wait and see at this stage what will ultimately become the outcome as far as COVID-19 is concerned. So we'll see how that unfolds. 876-922-4112-5, the numbers to call. Good afternoon to Angela in Toronto, Canada, who has just joined us. Patrick says, Mr. Malcolm, may I say happy birthday to my daughter, Abigail Kenise Howell in the USA, Roosevelt Walkins, or is that the name? Walkins, brother-in-law in the USA, and Jamal Ellis, nephew in Jamaica. So Patrick Howell is saying happy birthday to his daughter, Abigail Kenise Howell in the USA, Roosevelt, well, I'm pronouncing it how it's spelled, Rossevelt, Roosevelt Walkins, Wawkins, brother-in-law in the USA, and Jamal Ellis, nephew in Jamaica. Apparently, they're all celebrating a birthday today. It's actually Dawkins. Patrick Howell just messaged us again.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15. The Caribbean Maritime University, an ISO certified institution, offers Bachelor of Science degrees in cruise shipping, Bachelor of Engineering degrees, logistics, marine tourism, port management, security administration and management, and more. For further information, call 876-924-8150, 876-924-8175, or email info@cmu.edu.jn.
We are looking for you, new voices,
New faces,
for your favorite show, and new ones too.
all ages, all stages.
So put your best foot forward and convince us that you fit the bill.
Come on down
To the great audition!
Saturday, October 22, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5.
9 a.m. to 1 p.m. See you then!
See you then.
See ya! Tune in every Thursday at 3:30 p.m. for Your Legal Corner with Dana Walker Huntington, doing both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm on Power 106 FM. It's your source of information regarding U.S. immigration matters, combined with Power 106 FM's pioneer of diaspora broadcasting. Call in with your U.S. immigration queries and concerns on 876-9224-11225 or send a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598 and get the answers you need for your U.S. immigration questions. That's Your Legal Corner with Dana Walker Huntington, Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm, only on Power 106 FM.
Oh, but she was fair. The hills plain upwards calling. Death and failure here. I saw the meats of morning.
We're still being bombarded by all kinds of stories coming through. Still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Here's one coming out of Florida. Florida sees rise in flesh-eating bacteria amid Hurricane Ian concerns. This one just came in just after 3 o'clock, 10 minutes ago. The story is Florida has seen an increase in cases of flesh-eating bacteria this year, driven largely by a surge in the county hit hardest by Hurricane Ian. The State Department of Health reports that as of Friday, there have been 65 cases of Vibrio vulnificus, Vibrio vulnificus. 65 cases of Vibrio vulnificus, Vibrio vulnificus, Vibrio vulnificus. So there have been 65 cases of Vibrio vulnificus infections and 11 deaths in Florida this year. That compares with 34 cases and 10 deaths reported during all of 2021. In Lee County, where Ian stormed ashore last month, the health department reports 29 cases this year and 4 deaths. Health officials didn't give a breakdown of how many of the cases were before or after Ian struck. That's another one to be mindful of. Another story that's been in the news having to do with the Integrity Commission and its stewardship. JFJ head wants constitutional protection for Integrity Commission. Executive Director of Jamaicans for Justice, Michael Jackson, is pushing for the Integrity Commission to become a constitutional body. In her submission to a joint select committee reviewing the Integrity Commission Act of 2017, Jackson suggested that such a move would provide greater protection for the agency against legislative changes that could threaten its independence. The fact of the matter is that when you have a body like this that reports to Parliament, and there are certain provisions within the law that can be changed, it may very well stand to the possibility of undermining some operational provisions that would safeguard its independence, the JFJ boss said. So that's another of the stories trending right now. St. Elizabeth Police named 2 men as persons of interest. The St. Elizabeth Police have listed 2 men as persons of interest as investigators probe cases in the parish. Those being sought: Dwayne Morris, otherwise called Sharky, of Barbary Hall District in St. Elizabeth; Seymour Mullings, otherwise called Max, of Jointwood District, Magotty, St. Elizabeth. Detectives believe the men are able to assist them with information about vision and are asking them to make or any other police station by 10 o'clock the 21st of October. Another story: man killed in Denham Town as community marks 5 years of Zoso. The story is: a man was murdered at home on North Street in Denham Town, Kingston, as the authorities marked 5 years since the community was declared a zone of special operations, ZOSO. The incident occurred at least 1 hour before the start of an event at the Denham Town Community Center in recognition of the milestone. The deceased has been identified as Chad Coleman. It's understood he was at home, located between 2 ZOSO checkpoints, about 12:35 when he was shot and killed. The ZOSO was declared in the area on October 17, 2017. That is another story that is trending, and I think we have shared the others already. So let's move on. 876-922-4112-5 are the numbers to call. 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number. It means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. A few messages to clear now. This one from Cuban in Georgia. He says, "Greetings, Sir Malcolm. Sending happy birthday greetings and blessings to Davin, and hope he gets the first class treatment today, and hope he lives to see many, many more to come." So that's for Davin, and he heard you, Cuban in Georgia. This one from Paul in Kingston, saying, "Hi, Dervan. Hope you and the rest of the Power 106 family are doing well. Just giving a shout out to a new family member to the Power 106 family, Sophia Johnson, and the Johnson family from Cumberland in Portmore, St. Catherine. Special belated birthday to Mother Johnson. Wishing her long life, from Paul in Kingston. Love you guys. Blessings to my beautiful Jamaican family. Thanks, Dervan, sitting back." Mother's name is Mavis Johnson. All right. Well, hello to Mavis Johnson as well. Thank you very much for your message, Paul in Kingston. And this one says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Keep up the good work. I would like to use your program to ask the Jamaica Public Service Company to do something or change the fuse on the light post at Industry Square in Somerton. This fuse keeps jumping out as soon as a small amount of rain falls and making the upper area of the community out of lights for 3 to 4 days, even 3 times a week, and the residents are tired of it. Children and residents are out of light for days before it is fixed, and as it is fixed, it is jumping out again. Please, could you ask JPS to remove or replace this defective device, please, or give us a number to contact the JPS lady who is always on your program. Right now, light has gone from 5 a.m. and not yet returned. It is a headache. says this listener. We're going to forward your details to Audrey Williams of the Jamaica Public Service Company. We're doing that now. And we're going to include your contact information as well so that she can follow up with you. So we just sent your message, and now we're going to send your contact information. We're going to forward your contact information to Audrey Williams of the Jamaica Public Service Company. Please let us know how that goes. Miss Evadne is greeting us. Good afternoon, Miss Evadne. Evadne White says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and all at Power 106. Enough love to you all in class today, here and abroad. I hope Lloyd got to see the Prince from Africa over the weekend. Take care. Yes, we haven't heard from Lloyd since Prince Selassie touched down in Jamaica. I wonder if Lloyd has gone back with the Prince to Ethiopia on the continent of Africa. Lloyd, Ras Lloyd, we need to hear from you. We need to hear if you are still in Jamaica or you are now ensconced somewhere in the palace in Ethiopia. Anyway, the rest of this message from Miss Evadne says, so she says, I hope Lloyd got to see the Prince from Africa over the weekend. Take care now. My birthday will be on the 26th of October, she says. Happy birthday when it comes, Evadne White. She says, my birthday will be on the 26th of October. Special greetings to all the October people from Evadne. All the best, Miss Evadne. Thank you very much for your message on our WhatsApp line, same as our text line, 876-365-3346. Good afternoon, Jeannie Chambers, just joining us. Thank you very much for tuning in, and all the very best. And Patrick on YouTube says, Mr. Malcolm, I planted 1 acre of onion and a portion was trampled by stray animals, and contemplating planting 2 acres during this onion planting season, October to April. South Clarendon, need the fence. And Patrick says, is it true that Prince Selassie told the Rastas that his grandfather was not God? No, I don't know. I don't know of that. But if there's anyone who can share that information as being factual, then we'd like to hear from them. But we don't know about that. But thank you for your message, Patrick. Lisa Brown Campbell says, LOL, will we be hearing from Lloyd today? Did he meet the Prince? Asks Lisa Brown Campbell. Where is Ras Lloyd? Ras Lloyd, where are you? He's been rather quiet. He's been rather quiet. We haven't heard from him. And well, let's see if he will call us at some point. But it would be good to find out if he got anywhere close to Prince Selassie of Ethiopia recently. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number. We'll tell you more in a moment.
Protecting Jamaica's borders from illicit imports and exports is a key priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. The JCA will remain vigilant and resolute in effectively fulfilling this mandate. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:30.
World Food Day is celebrated annually on October 16 to promote global awareness and action for those who suffer from hunger and to highlight the need to ensure healthy diets for all. This Thursday, October 20, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries will celebrate World Food Day under the theme, Leave No One Behind. Better production, better nutrition, a better environment, and a better life at the Vera Technical High School in Clarendon. Join Power 106 FM for a special live broadcast of Power Talk when we'll tell you all about it. This broadcast is brought to you by the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Sugar Aggregates, and the Sugar Industry Authority. That's a broadcast of Power Talk from Vera Technical High School celebrating World Food Day this Thursday, October 20, right here on Power 106 FM.
Listen to your favorite programs live on the Power 106 FM app. You can download the app on Google Play Store and the App Store. Can't catch your favorite show live? Then listen to your show on our podcast library, wherever you are, whenever you wish. Power 106 FM, the digital sound, where all views can contend. Now online via the Power 106 FM app.
I saw my land in the morning, and oh, but she was fair. The hills flamed upwards for me.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
I think I've heard the voice of Russ Lloyd.
Okay. You must have to hear the voice.
Welcome.
The voice of Eagle say, the whole life freely give, thirst to water, thirst to dung and drink and live. And so we give thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah, so did you get to have a word to exchange words with Prince Selassie?
Oh, the man said, we are speaking to him right now.
I don't understand.
I'm speaking to Prince Selassie right now.
Who is Prince Selassie?
Honorable Prince Dervan.
I don't understand you, man. You met the man fly all the way from Ethiopia to come to Jamaica, and you weren't able to have a word with him, to talk with him, to reason with him. I don't understand that.
You know, this is not the first time our honorable brother visit Jamaica. He also paid us a visit on Bobo Hill in 2016 when he arrived here.
Oh, the same Prince Selassie?
Yeah, man, this same Prince Ermias. His royal, we call it His Royal Highness.
Yes.
Yeah, and paid us a visit in 2016, you know?
So you met him on that occasion?
Yeah, man, we entertain him, welcome him. And Bobo Hill, you know? See the well-spread table and forgotten one. Here is ready.
Yes, but it would make sense to have an update, to have an updated discussion. I mean, 2016 was a long time ago.
He said, me to wait and murmur not. We are Jamaica government. I said, I'm going to meet with Rastafari.
And he did. He met with Rastafarians here in the corporate area as well as in Montego Bay, didn't he?
Okay. So he needs to come now, come meet with I, Ethiopian royal gods and goddess, prince and princess and Bobo Hill.
Oh, so he needs to come to you, not you must go to him.
We have a foundation.
Oh.
So we need to come to us.
A visit.
Prince Jamaica who fly the red, gold and green and the red, black and green banner representing an African nation, well, kingdom, with the black 5-point star and the lion symbol representing Ethiopia crown, you know.
I'm a little disappointed, though. I really expected you to play a more integral part of the in terms of the visit. You know, I thought you would have been more visible and more active with this visit, but apparently not.
This visit of our honorable brother and our royal sister who is on the island now, you know, we pray that them could have seen a light of themselves, you know, and walk in the light as children of the light, you know, supporting a black monarchy system of government for a black world of people, you know. So black people here on the island represent such black royal dynasty, you know, kingdom. You know, we are the prince and princess and the royal god and goddess of Ethiopia. You remember that royal anthem, Ethiopia, the land of our father?
Yes, land where I sure love to be.
The land where our gods and goddess love to be.
Yes.
So we are the Ethiopian gods and goddess, and black people, whether the world please or not, you know. That's what we is, you know.
Right.
Ethiopian royal gods and goddess, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Prince and princess. As one writer said, you see the prince and princess walking in the street and the servant driving in chariot, you know.
Yes.
So Jamaica government to invite His Royal Highness, you must remember the prince and princess in Abdomen and in portfolio are called squatters, you know, and the Charles government.
But I thought you would have wanted to have a discussion with him on the subject of land and equity and related matters, especially at a time when that's quite topical in Jamaica. No,
we don't want a footbirth of Jamaica. You know, all we want is our birthright, you know.
What is that?
Africa, you know, the continent.
Right, right. But you're it sounds as if you're standing off from it. You're not moving towards it. You're not getting as involved as you need to be if you're really serious about that.
Oh, we only involved in 7 miles of Black Star Liner, and we are doing overtime now. So it's a 13 miles of high water boat with international security.
Oh, you have a boat. You have a vessel now ready?
All the vessels are here already.
Really? Where are they docked?
All nations and kingdom who benefit from the slave trade, you know.
So you are going to trust the people who benefit from the slave trade to transport you from here to the continent of Africa? You're not afraid, Rasloyd?
You're not dismayed. Whatever betide, God will take care of you. You know, man say he's the master of the sea. Below his will obey. He yourselves you want to be safe to dear. Say I am that I am powers. Most High Celestial.
Rastafari.
So we have nothing to fear. You know? Right. Christ is captain of the mighty strong, you know?
Right.
So we have nothing to fear. We have our Savior. And he said, with Christ in the vessel.
We smile at the storm.
But you hear it. You never know you say it. You know you go on all the time. Anyway, for that serious note,
yes,
welcome our honorable brothers and sisters under these banners, you know?
Yes.
You know, these black independent world banner, you know?
Yeah, but you should at least show your face, though, Rasloyd. I'm disappointed. You didn't even show your face.
Where?
At any of the events that His Highness attended. Prince.
I think I hear you say in New Rastafari at Montego Bay.
Were you included in that?
The New Rastafari.
No, were you there?
Of course, I always say Rasta did an eye and eye. Till I see I, ja, Rastafari. So if you want to see him and the least you do want to one of these little ones, the same you do want to him, you know? So we are divided. All one good in me. One in hope and doctrine and one in charity.
All
you know,
right.
so people who are say I hear a little angel ask to say him say, him father, him grandfather, never see himself as God, you know?
Yes.
So if you are not God, you must be Satan, you know? So
Really?
don't make it be Satan, you know, make it be God, you know? Don't make it be Satan people, make it be God, you know? God the world never teach us that we are God, and teach us out ourselves to look for God. You know, a blind ear, blue-eyed spirit thing them carry out one way, you know? But to give thanks to the reality of a God in flesh and blood, you know? Spirit in flesh and blood, not sort of spirit, you know? That's why then the crucified Christ, you know, in a former days.
Right.
And so we shall not good work. So I come and do, me could not crucify me, and cleanse the leper, and raise the dead, and make the blind see, and all these wondrous works he has done. And then still crucify him. Said because, not because of him good works, neither them a crucify him, but because he is a man and same is God, you know? So we have that reality with us from them time there until this time, where we run away from the reality of ourselves, you know, of humanity, you know, God in flesh and blood. One writer said, no longer did Thomas deny when he saw the hand, the feet, the side. He said, thou art my Lord and God, he cried. You know, God and the kings are one ghost. Them say I come on the third day. And the man said, come man, spirit have not flesh and blood as you see I. You know, bring fish. Come give me man in church, say God is here, you know. Jesus of Nazareth. Holy Emmanuel I.
Yeah. Rastafari. Thank you very much, Ras Lloyd. Thanks for the call.
Let's turn over the country to the Lion of Judah, Honorable Bob the Grains and Lego Charles.
What's that? Turn over the country to the Honorable Babsy Grange? That's what you said?
No.
What are you saying?
Honorable Bob the Grains must turn over the country, man, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, to the Imperial Lion of Judah. You know that them a big up such monarchy system of government.
So turn it over to Prince Selassie.
No, us, black people.
No, but everybody can't govern. Everybody can't govern. Ras Lloyd. You have to.
A sovereign nation, well, kingdom, a family affair. It's a family affair, you know.
Right.
A black family affair.
Well, good luck with that.
Royal dynasty.
Thank you very much, Ras Lloyd. All the best.
And tell them, we give thanks, you know. And remember, we are gods and goddess, you know. Man of right is God in flesh, and men of wrong is Satan. Woman of right is goddess in flesh, and women of wrong is Satan. You know, right is standard, you know.
Thank you.
And that could have carry us, you know. So
take care.
And stop kill up one another like we are be.
Yes.
In this country, you know.
Under this judgment, yes.
Oh, honorable.
All right, Ras Lloyd. Take care.
Yes, sir.
Cool. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Shelley Davis says, heal Rachel Lewis from head to feet, restore my body, organs, bones, eyes, inside, out. Heal all my illnesses and diseases in the almighty name of Jesus. Amen. From United States, Rockford, Illinois. Thanks for sharing your poem, I beg your pardon, your prayer with us. Patrick Howell says, Mr. Malcolm, could you use your program to read a few of Claude McKay's poems, especially My Mother? I am aware of the poems he wrote while in the USA and England. That one is actually new to me, and I'd like to think I know most Claude McKay pieces. But this one is new to me. My Mother by Claude McKay, you said. Let's see if we have it here. It says, Reg wished me to go with him to the field. I paused because I did not want to go. But in her quiet way, she made me yield reluctantly, for she was breathing low. Her hand she slowly lifted from her lap, and smiling sadly, In the old sweet way, she pointed to the nail where hung my cap.
Forward before it.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
Tune in to Farm Talk every second and third Tuesday of each month at 6:18 a.m. for the feature Hyper Food Independence. Hyper Food Independence will focus on solutions for farmers, such as land, animal husbandry, agronomy, and more. That's Hyper Food Independence every second and third Tuesday from 6:18 to 6:30 a.m. during Farm Talk, only on Power 106 FM. Hyper Food Independence is sponsored by Hypro.
So let's recite this piece for Patrick Howell. He says, could you use your program to read a few of Claude McKay's poems, especially My Mother? I'm aware of the poems he wrote while in USA and England. So I was doing just that for Mr. Howell, who is tuned in and listening. So here's the poem you requested, My Mother, by Claude McKay. Reg wished me to go with him to the field but I paused because I did not want to go. But in her quiet way, she made me yield reluctantly, for she was breathing low. Her hand she slowly lifted from her lap, and smiling sadly in the old sweet way, she pointed to the nail where hung my cap. Her eyes said, I shall last another day. But scarcely had we reached the distant place, when o'er the hills we heard a faint bell ringing. A boy came running up with frightened face. We knew the fatal news that he was bringing. I heard him listlessly, without a moan, although the only one I loved was gone. The dawn departs, the morning is begun, the trades come whispering from off the seas. The fields of corn are golden in the sun, the dark brown tassels fluttering in the breeze. The bell is sounding and the children pass, frog leaping, skipping, shouting, laughing shrill, down the red road, over the pasture grass, up to the schoolhouse, crumbling on the hill. The older folk are at their peaceful toil, some pulling up the weeds, some plucking corn, and others breaking up the sun-baked soil. Float, faintly scented breeze at early morn over the earth where mortals sow and reap. Beneath its breast, my mother lies asleep. Especially for Patrick Howell. That's the piece he requested by Claude McKay, My Mother, by Claude McKay. Asher Ash in London says, Mr. Dervan, don't take any notice of Ras Lloyd. He isn't a Rasta. People can say anything over the phone. He doesn't want to go back to Africa, surmises Asher Ash. Thank you for your message, Asher Ash. Let's go to the phone lines. Once again, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm.
Welcome.
Listening to Ras Lloyd, I did not get any illumination. He did not make me understand his thinking at all. You asked him questions and he avoided them. But I suppose he just enjoys talking the way he does. He doesn't really mean anything.
That's Well, that's not an unreasonable deduction or conclusion.
Yes. I was listening to IRFM Kabu interviewed Prince Ernest.
Yes.
And that question came up, the question of whether or not his grandfather is
considered himself the creator.
Yes, that very question. And Kabu was very attentive. And she asked him, and he said, for himself, he said no. And that was not his understanding, that his grandfather thought of himself as a divine being. I don't remember the exact words, but the gist of it was no.
Right.
And Kabu herself even said there will be some disappointment on the part of a few of her listeners, the Rastafarians, and so I think that question has been answered, because it's not the first time I heard that question, and it's a resounding no, really.
Yes, I
From
think
my
we're
memory, from what I understand.
Yes, I believe you're right.
And but even Ross Lloyd, he skirted around it. He mentioned it, did he not?
Yes.
But it's really amazing. Ross Lloyd seems to have a way of avoiding answering questions, like a skilled man of the public. He's not as simple as one would think, because he skirted around the question.
Yes, he has been backward in coming forward.
Yes, he's very crafty, that Ross Lloyd.
Yes.
Lloyds of London, I would say. Ross Lloyd is well, I know you enjoy his entertainment, Mr. Malcolm.
Well, we all need a break sometimes, don't we?
Judgment.
Thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Lisa Brown Campbell says, one thing for sure, Ras Lloyd comes when he is called. Respect Ras Lloyd, she says. And Richard Flow, is that Richard Flowers? It's today, no? Yes. Richie Flowers is having a birthday today. And so he has a lot of water. He's drinking water. which is a good thing. Happy birthday, Richie. Richie Flowers, as we said, he's an expert as well at assisting expectant mothers, which he has done in the past. So it's a kind of individual in a situation that an expectant mother would love to have, because he has experience, which teaches wisdom. Well, enjoy, Richie. All the best. You and Davin. So you and Davin going to have a session later or something? Okay. Drinking water. All right. Enjoy. Let's see. A couple more messages here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Del Mignot says, Mr. Malcolm, good evening, good afternoon, Del Mignot. She says, I really enjoy his reasoning today. Ras Lloyd can take up preaching, says Del Mignot. Well, I'm sure Ras Lloyd would appreciate the fact that you appreciate his presentation this afternoon, albeit one in which he was rather slippery, but such is his nature. Continuing with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Some more updates for you, news-wise. This is Both Sides of the Story. Golding wants timeline on ZOSO amendments. Leader of the opposition, Mark Golding, today called for the government to give a timeline for when amendments to the Zone of Special Operations ZOSO legislation will come to Parliament. The act was reviewed by a joint select committee of Parliament. Various recommendations were made in the report, which came here. It was debated and approved, but we haven't seen the legislation come here to make those adjustments, said Golding in the House of Representatives this afternoon. Earlier at the sitting, Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang presented a resolution for the extension of the ZOSOs in Denham Town, West Kingston, Norwood and Mount Salem, St. James, Greenwich Town, Parade Gardens, and August Town in St. Andrew, and Savannah Lamar in Westmoreland. Golding argued that it is quite clear that a 60-day period is inadequate for any zone, and one of the recommendations is for that period to be extended. Golding, who is also president of the People's National Party, said members of Parliament were given a notice that there would be no sitting of the House of Representatives today. However, he said they were called to the chamber to deal with the ZOSO resolution. Subsequently, we were told we had to come here because these ZOSOs are expiring, which I understand, but it just indicates the need to expedite the legislation to amend this so we don't have these kinds of chaotic management of our time in this House, Golding said. In his presentation, Chang said all zones have recorded reductions in major crimes, including murders. Mount Salem, 59% decline. Denham Town, 32% decline. August Town, 47% decline. Greenwich Town, 30% decline. Parade Gardens, 94% decline. And Savannah Lamar, 90% decline. Norwood, St. James, 63% decline. So on the basis of this evidence that is being forwarded, the conclusion is the zones of special operation have been effective in terms of minimizing criminal activity, especially major crimes, including murders. All zones have recorded reductions in major crimes, including murders. Mount Salem, 59% decrease. Denham Town, 32% down. August Town, 47% down. Greenwich Town, 30% down. Parade Gardens, 94% decline. Savannah Lamar, 90%. And Norwood, 63%. And it seems both the government and the opposition are in harmony on this one. Let's see where that goes. So that's another of the stories trending. There's more after the break.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
Do you have this? ¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:01. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:01. 现在几点了？10:01. A minute past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Looks like Angelia Christian is calling us on WhatsApp, founder of the Angel Foundation UKJA. And she has been in Jamaica for a while now, continuing the work that she started some 11 or more years ago. Good afternoon, Angel.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
You wanted to be on air?
Well, if I'm on air now, I'm on air. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the handing over ceremony is coming up, and Grace Kennedy Foundation has donated snacks and drinks and goodies for the students for in the goodies bag, yes, and that's where I am now. And my mind just run on the Dervan Malcolm diaspora live online. And I said, let me give you a call. So yeah. I went and did a presentation today in the Story Technical High School, and yesterday I done a presentation in the Leasy Primary School in St. James.
Yes.
Border St. James and Hanover.
You've been busy.
I've been very busy, yes. And you wouldn't believe that bridge in Leety, here in Leety, in 79, it was flooded over the bridge right to the top of the bridge in 1979, washing away the same Leety school and everybody. And there was a group come from the UK, a lot of Afro-Caribbean people from the UK and America who has been coming to the local community in Leety for rafting and getting a massage and bubble scrubs with a stone line and having pictures taken on this bridge.
Oh.
You know about that bridge, the Leety Bridge?
No, I don't actually. Well, not before your call.
In 79, the water came right over the bridge from the Great River. That's the Leety Bridge on the Great River.
What a thing.
Yes. You know, and I had a presentation at Leety Primary School with 120 desks and chairs. Remember, I donated, and also Judge Foundation, Dr. Dixon got involved and donated also 60 chairs and 60 desks. So I went yesterday, you know, and visited the school and, and had a small presentation. So I've been very, very busy.
So that's part of the...
I'm thinking now, I've got all these goodies bags and all these things for the Gracewood UK drawstring bags for the students, and I'm thinking I had tears in my eyes. I think, why have I gone and done this now? Because I'm not realizing that it's heavy load to carry. It's not just my clothes and my suitcase.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
How did you manage bringing in all those items?
There's a church that I went down in Maxwell Avenue in Bethune Road. I was baptized in that church when I was 11 years old, and a great lady invited me at the church And it's only when I reached at the church I realized, I said, but this was a church I was baptized at 11 years. And my mom came and pulled me out of there in the night because I was there trying to pray and get the Holy Spirit. So all of a sudden I get a text, how are you? And I said, you know what, I am stuck because I've got all these beverages and snacks, you know, to bring up to Mount Pleasant. And I do not know how I'm going to get in there. And then they offer to help half. So I've gone half. It's just to get to its destination now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we really hope it all works out.
Well, it's the handing over ceremony of the Mount Pleasant Primary School, and I really do hope, you know, this is a special one. Remember, the whole world was locked down when we built the Mount Pleasant Primary School, IT Suite. So it's a very special handing over, and I do hope you can turn up. You can come. You know, so yeah. Remember, it was all locked down when we done this vulnerable time. I remember the shipping man came in my apartment with 2 masks. You know, he was scared to come near me when he was taking out the boxes to ship the computers from Mount Pleasant Primary School. Very vulnerable time when I built this IT suite. Beautiful IT room. So we're having the handing over ceremony. Yes, yeah.
All right. Well, definitely something to look forward to.
Yes. So I didn't realize you wasn't here. So
well, now you know.
You know, my next project is the Trenchtown Primary School. I've been at the Ministry of Education. Had come and escorted me down to the Trenchtown Primary School. I've gone and met the principal, and she have a container that some past student who is a builder now donated, a 40-feet container. So she's got the 40-feet container on site. She had two air conditioners put inside of it. She had a floor done, wood flooring, and then she had wood built, you know, like walls. Beautiful room. And as I said, I've got the 10 new computers. I've got the 10 new chairs already in the UK. So I'm looking forward now to ship for Trenchtown Primary School. And then I want to create a music room also too. So I've been eagerly asking people to donate drums and guitars. I was also at the new Stony Hill Technical High School and visited the music room. And the music room in the new Stony Hill Technical High School is in desperate need of guitars. They have a beautiful drum set there, but they need guitars and we need piano. So I'm gonna be campaigning really, really hard in UK because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of musicians, especially in the church. I've reached out to my pastor David, you know, so I'm gonna really, really force it, you know, to get in these donations so I can ship for the music room. And I done a presentation also with one of the twins because remember, Grace Kennedy Foundation had donated some tablets, and Miss Downey had to keep the tablets. She wasn't able to give them yet because it needed Microsoft and everything. So I was coming expecting I could have handed these tablets over to the twins, but unfortunately, one drowned in Luna. And would you believe it? I went to the funeral. It's right at the back of their house. The stream, it's a very small stream, Dervan. Very small stream. So where they built the veranda, in the back they wash. So that horrendous rain came down from up the top because their house is lower down. The stream came down, but it came with such a force in the back where they were washing. One slipped, and the other one tried to catch her, and this horrendous rain just washed two of them down in the main stream, which is down the bottom. And this is how they were washing it. It's right in the back of their house. You know, when I was at the funeral on Saturday, you had people come from all over Jamaica for the funeral, MPs and visitors. It was a fantastic funeral. But when I thought it was somewhere else, but it was actually right where they're buried now, just next door to where they're buried now, right at the back of the veranda where the stream come at the back. But what happened, Dervan, it made because the rain was so much water, it made a second stream. So that second stream come behind in front of the house and join the other stream that usually they used to coming down. So they were washing, and because they saw the stream, they stayed right in their home, in the back of their home. You know, and I get the full picture of it. They had to walk 5 hours, 5-6 hours in the river where they find one of the body at Temper All. The 14-year-old, the twin body was right in Temper All. So that's how far it washed her. You know, and the little one further up there found her the following morning under some palm trees. Really sad. So people, just be careful in Jamaica when you see rain and hurricane and you're living in hilly place. Please, keep inside. Right in the back of their house.
Yes.
So today I went to the Stony Hill Technical High School to make a presentation, and Kalike, she was very emotional when I was giving this presentation to her because it was for both she and her sister. So she got a bit emotionally, but it was really nice, and she promised me she's gonna be, working very hard. She's gonna make her sister proud, looking down at her. So it was very emotional.
Yes.
I
can just imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very emotional, and a lot of people. Dervan was at the funeral.
Oh yes, the community was very quiet on Saturday.
A lot of people. I met some people from Kingston, come from Greenwich Farm, Whitfield Town, Rose Town. Yeah, and pastors from different churches all over also came at the service started at 10. And then about 2 o'clock, it started to rain really hard. So the service went on until 3:30. But what a powerful service. The Stony Hill with the principal Eric Smith, and the teachers that done presentation. And it was awesome, It was really awesome service. I was there. I saw it all. So, yeah. It was really awesome, and they did a lot of different stuff, because they are young lives, and when the preacher started to preach and said it's a very small stream, I think they had it 20 years ago when it came like that. But it's a very small stream, Dervan. It wasn't a lot. It was just a small stream that makes in the yard when you have rain. But then that stream leads down further down into the main stream that run across at the back of the houses in Box Hill, in Luna. Yeah. But united we stand, Dervan. United we stand.
Indeed.
So our sister got a very emotional at Stony Hill when I was doing a presentation with her with the tablets. Yeah. So yeah, but united we stand.
Well, you've been doing great work, Angel. Just continue.
Yes, I am. Yes, I was. Liti, I went down rafting in the river and I learned so much thing again about Liti. So yeah.
Well, it's great. It's great to have you join us this afternoon on both sides of the story here on Power 106.
Remember, I have 700 pieces of new clothes from Maxwell Park Children's Home. And would you believe, Dervan, I had a box of school drawstring bags with the Grace logo on it, and the customer had to actually charge me for that box, but they didn't charge. Well, it's still much. They charge 6,000. I said to them, it's a box of drawstring with the Grace logo.
6,000 Jamaican dollars?
Yeah, they charged me 6,000 Jamaican dollars for it. They said they're charging me 50 cents each for each bag because there's no such amount. But the barrel is there with Maxwell Park Children's Home. So I got the box. So when they went, what happened? When they went, they said, why didn't I? I said, look, I ship the computers and everything for free at primary school, but Grace Foods UK, the box was delivered late. So I just decided I could send it with a barrel for Maxwell Park Children's Home. So she went, I didn't give her no information. She went and looked up, and that's when she came to me and told me that she see that I've been shipping to the Ministry of Education if I don't have a waiver. I said, look, I'm shipping a barrel to Maxwell Park Children's Home, so I didn't think I need a waiver. And I said, on top of that, the box is a drawstring bag with the Grace Foods, with the Grace Kennedy logo on it. You know the Grace Kennedy logo?
Yes.
Yes, it's you can see it, and she charged me 6,000. She said she still have to charge me for it. I couldn't believe it.
Well.
She said there's no such thing in custom that give her free. I said, but it's the box with the barrel. She charged me for it. 210 Grace Foods drawstring bags was in it to hand out to the students. So, and Grace Kennedy here in Jamaica, they have also donated snacks and beverages and water to be going into those bags to hand out to students. But I was charged for it at the custom. A box with free bags, but you cannot those bags, you cannot sell them. Yes.
Yes, indeed. It's you perhaps might want to speak with your usual contact, the liaison person who would normally help to facilitate with the waivers and so on, to find out what happened and why you were charged.
Well, to tell you the truth, Dervan, when she said 6,000, I said, you know what, it's not much. Grace Foods UK and VM Group is my sponsor and they support me.
Yeah.
So when I worked out, how much is 6,000? It was like about £28. It was not much.
Right.
They're doing a job.
I tell you what, Angel, we're going to have to continue the conversation because we have a scheduled interview coming up. Thank you for the call.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I see you soon.
We'll talk. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dervan.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Yes,
That's Angela Christian, the founder of the Angel Foundation UKJA. She's visiting Jamaica and continuing her philanthropic work.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
Importers, the Jamaica Customs Agency is reforming its clearance process, making it easier for you to clear your non-commercial and small value items using our simplified declarations. You will be able to clear your goods without physically visiting the port or a warehouse for customs inspection, making your clearance experience even better. The pilot begins October 2022 across all marine public bonded warehouses. For further details, email Jamaica Customs at contactlessclearance@jca.gov.jm or telephone 876-922-51408. We're here to serve you. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Supreme Real Estate, licensed real estate dealers, the experts in residential, commercial, industrial, hotels, and villa sales, rentals, and leases. Supreme Real Estate, Main Street, Salem, Runaway Bay, St. Anne. Call 876-973-5026 or 876-973-6142 and email supremerealestate@cwjamaica.com.
We are looking for you, new voices,
New faces,
for your favorite show, and new ones too.
all ages, all stages.
So put your best foot forward and convince us that you fit the bill.
Come on down
To the great audition!
Saturday, October 22, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5.
9 a.m. to 1 p.m. See you then!
See you then.
See ya!
Que ahora es en español, son las 4:17. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:17. 现在TDN 了4点17分. 17 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Well, here's a lady who has long done her homework. That's why she is the Chief Executive Officer of the Grace Kennedy Foundation. Mrs. Caroline Mahfood, how are you? Welcome.
Hey, Dervan, I'm great. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. We're excited and we're anxious to get a preview of the 34th annual Grace Kennedy Lecture. And we want to start by asking you to remind us of how this Grace Kennedy, the annual Grace Kennedy Lecture got going in the first place.
Our 34th lecture this year. And basically, we thought that it was important for much more of a national discussion on relevant issues.
Yes.
So each year we try and find a topic that we think will mean a lot
to the audience. Sometimes it's fun, like humor, and how does humor affect your health. Or it may be looking at male masculinity. It may be looking at the family. Last year we had Vivian Crawford speaking about our culture. So it just depends on what we think would really resonate with the people of Jamaica and Jamaicans all over the world.
So what's a typical lecture like for those who have never experienced it, and who's invited normally?
Sure. So the lecture is always open to the public. It's a free event. No one needs to have a ticket, but we ask people to register on Eventbrite just so that we can get an idea of the numbers. Things have changed since COVID, so a lot of people like to watch events online.
Yes.
So the option is there for them to watch it on our YouTube page, Grace Kennedy's YouTube page, or to physically come down to the Jamaica Conference Center at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon and actually see it in person.
Mm-hmm. And what are there particular features of this year's 34th annual lecture that looking back at all the others over the years, are there features that are different this year?
Well, this year is incredibly special because it's Grace Kennedy's 100th anniversary. And so the topic tomorrow is going to be A Century of Excellence, Grace Kennedy's Recipe for Success. And what's even more special is we have the chairman of the Grace Kennedy Foundation, Dr. Fred Kennedy, whose family is the Kennedy name in the name Grace Kennedy. Mm-hmm. He will be speaking. We'll have the Honorable Douglas Areen, who the retired chairman and CEO of Grace Kennedy, speaking. And then we'll also have Senator Don Webby speaking. And they're going to be just sharing how the company evolved from being a private family company to a public company and how it survived the 100 years and was successful through the 100 years.
And this is also a milestone year for Grace Kennedy Foundation, isn't it?
It is. We are celebrating our 40th anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Well. Thank you so much.
Yes. So remind those of us who know and enlighten those who don't as to the essence of the output of Grace Kennedy Foundation.
Sure. So we have three main areas of focus. We focus on education, primarily at the tertiary level. We focus on healthy lifestyles, and we specifically help to support the Jamaica Stroke Alliance, as well as we fund a food bank that supports university students at UWI, UTEC, and Edna College. Very exciting, very important program that we're doing. And then the third thing we do is environmental work. So we fund a chair in environmental management at the University of the West Indies, which is held by Professor Mona Webber. And in addition to that, we're doing a huge project with the Kingston Harbour called the Kingston Harbour Cleanup Project, where we're looking at how we can prevent waste entering the harbour and, just really trying to encourage people not to litter and not to pollute it.
Yes. And are there additional elements, for example, compared to how the lecture would normally be delivered and presented? Is there going to be anything different in terms of how this year's lecture is presented? Yes, you have given us the speakers already, essentially, but
well, it's a chat. So it's being moderated by Simone Clark Cooper, who was our former corporate communications manager at Grace Kennedy.
Yes.
So she'll be having a chat with Dr. Kennedy and Mr. Rain, and then Mr. Webby is going to kind of do a TED Talk. He's going to do a kind of slide, because he's going to talk about the future.
Yes.
Where we're going to go for 2030. So it'll be a slightly different feel for him. But it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be a celebration.
Yeah. So once again, remind us, those of us who would love to attend the 34th annual Grace Kennedy lecture.
Yeah.
We are invited to, first of all, register online.
Yes. So if they go to the Grace Kennedy website as soon as they go on the website, there's a pop-up that will lead them to the registration. So once they go onto gracekennedy.com, it takes them to the registration link.
Right.
But it's, as I said, it's free. It's open to the public. We want school children to come. We want everybody to come on out. So it's at the Jamaica Conference Center tomorrow at 4 p.m.
Mm-hmm. And I gather you do have some panelists as well who will be joining you.
No, that is it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the three of them.
Oh,
yeah,
just checking. But has that happened in the past, or I just trying?
No, we generally have set speakers.
Mm-hmm.
What we do have is a very robust question and answer section, so persons can get involved, raise their questions, what they're concerned about, and get feedback. So we definitely have that as a part of the discussion.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Right. And what usually happens to the material that is presented at these lectures? Do they end up on a shelf somewhere gathering dust?
It's a very good question. So a couple of things. Normally we produce a book. The lecturer writes a book. But in this case, Dr. Kennedy is about to publish a book called Firstborn, which is on the life of his father, Louis Fred Kennedy, who helped to build Grace Kennedy. In addition to that, Mr. Rain has already written a book, and every copy that's sold, the proceeds go to the Grace and Staff Community Development Foundation.
Lovely.
So, yes. So we're going to promote those two books, but what we have decided is the transcript from the lecture is going to be we're going to transcribe what is recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And then in about January, we'll release that. And all of our books are free. They're available online at gracekennedy.com, and they're a great resource for students. Excellent resource for students and the general public. It's used in the curriculums at UTech, like our book on volunteerism is a compulsory book at UTech for their volunteer program.
Impressive.
So, yeah. So they're a great resource.
Mm-hmm.
And they're written so the general public it's not academic, so it's difficult to read,
jargons and
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is we definitely have something to look forward to. So it starts at 4:00 tomorrow afternoon.
That is correct.
Right.
That is correct.
And will run, I would imagine, for a couple of hours or so.
Yeah, I think till about 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, listeners, now you know. If you didn't know before, the Grace Kennedy Foundation 34th annual lecture. And, the heavyweights will be out.
They will. Big wig time.
Yes. So, listeners, first of all, we have to register. So you can go to the easiest way. Just go to Grace Kennedy. Just Google Grace Kennedy.
Right.
Foundation or Grace Kennedy. Just like that, right?
Right. Yep. gracekennedy.com, and it takes them right there. It pops up on the screen as they get on the site.
Right. And then the registration is just so that you have an idea of the numbers, so you can effectively manage.
Correct. Because we're still conscious of, we want persons to wear a mask.
Yes.
We want to be careful still, because it will be a crowd of people, so we want to be careful.
Right. And that's, it wouldn't be Grace Kennedy if it were otherwise, because it's
correct.
Exactly. Right. So is this likely to be, we're close to the end of the year. Is there likely to be another event, or are there other events in the making between your 40th anniversary in terms of Grace Kennedy Foundation and the 100th anniversary of Grace Kennedy?
Okay. So most of the events for Grace Kennedy have happened already.
Okay.
We are having a huge staff party in December. That's being planned. A celebration. For the foundation, we have our Scholars Award ceremony next week.
Oh.
And then we are also, part of our Healthy Lifestyles mandate, we're going to be putting on a seminar for university students, open to all university students, which is going to be looking at mental health, nutrition, study habits, exam techniques. We call it making the A grade. And we're going to be doing that in early November. And then that's it for our big event for the year.
Well, we expect no less from Grace Kennedy. Well done as usual. Thank you so much.
And thank you for your support always.
Sure, anytime. You deserve that and more. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. That's Mrs. Caroline Mahfood, the Chief Executive Officer of the Grace Kennedy Foundation, giving us a preview of the Grace Kennedy Foundation's 34th annual lecture under the theme, A Century of Excellence, Grace Kennedy's Recipe for Success. It's a free event open to everybody. And all they ask is that you go online and register. It's important so they can manage the numbers. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 4:30.
Sipa copper.
Sipa copper?
Yes, Sipa copper.
Sipa copper what?
Sipa copper Ital Jamaican Moringa tea bags. Sipa copper Moringa, turmeric, vervine, neem, and guinea hen wheat tea bags today. Sipa copper tea is available in supermarkets island-wide. So Sipa copper today. You'll be happy you did.
Distributed by Caramel Group Limited.
For 50 years, Under the Law has been helping you to know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. And we continue to do this in 2022. The program is brought to you on Wednesdays by the Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy. Under the Law at 6:45 and 8:55 a.m. and at 4 and 9:55 p.m. on Power 106 FM.
Time is burning forward before it's late. I saw through
Que hora es en español? Son las 5:28. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5h moins 28.现在几点了？5:28. 28 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Patrick Howell has shared some information with us. He says, well, I'm sure he meant DERVAN as opposed to DERVAL. He says, Dervan Kabu from IRA FM played a tape last year, and Selassie distinctly said that he was not Jesus Christ or God. The Rasta religion was established around the premise that Selassie was God, stroke Christ. And Patrick goes on to say, Selassie also told the Rastas that he was a Christian and a member of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church when he came to Jamaica on April 21st, 1966. But Ras Lloyd and others failed to believe. And then Patrick Howell sends us another message. He says, Dervan, please use your program in asking MP Mark Golding to remove the house which has been built across West Road in Trenchtown by Tony Spalding, past MP. Well, I wouldn't know about that, but we'll check on that. That's news. That's news to us here, Patrick. Then he goes on to say, just want to say thanks to Angel and her great work to the schools. Thank you very much for your message. I'm sure Angelia Christian appreciates the message, Patrick Howell. All the very best. Good afternoon as well to Dervan Ennis. He says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Good job. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine, good afternoon. And hello as well to Sophia Nemard. And Steve wanted to know if he could join via Zoom. Well, Grace Kennedy's, if you just go to Grace Kennedy's website, you will see all the channels of communication that will be open starting at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, Jamaica time. That's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 5 p.m. Eastern Daytime. If you're in the UK, that's 10 o'clock in the night, UK time. So I don't know if there being a Zoom link, Steve, but you can go to Eventbrite. It's Grace Kennedy Lecture, Eventbrite, or just go to Grace Kennedy. Just type gracekennedy.com, and you'll see a pop-up, and you follow the links from there. Thank you very much for your messages. Mr. Hines, I just got my mic to make this call. I'm fine, thanks. And you? I did. Yes, I actually read it on air as well. Sure, why not? By all means. It could be any weekday or on a Saturday morning, whichever works best for her. Sounds good. No problem. I'll listen out for you or look out for your messages. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
But she was there, the hills claimed upwards calling, death and failure here. I swam the midst of morning.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Now, this is a football-loving country. Yes, we love track and field, but it's also a football-loving country. And there are people in this country, you would think that they eat, sleep, and drink with all these famous footballers and their management, etc. But some of them have never set foot out of this country. But that's the way it is. You watch the football, you love the football, you support your team, etc. And so there's news now. What did I do with that story now? There is news. Oh boy. There are so many platforms, listeners. So sometimes it's quite a task to try to remember which of the platforms has the information that you're looking for. I'm sure there's a solution for that. Let's see. News coming out of South Africa. Toddler killed in rare giraffe attack. A giraffe crushed to death a 16-month-old toddler in an eastern region of South Africa today in a rare attack by the world's tallest mammal. The attack occurred at a game farm around 270 kilometers or 168 miles northeast of the port city of Durban. Police spokeswoman Ngobile Gwala said in a text message to AFP, Agence France Presse, that a 25-year-old mother and her 16-year-old daughter were attacked around 1400 Greenwich Mean Time at Kuleni Farm in the Lolue area when they were trampled by a giraffe. Oh no, good grief. Jeez. Sorry to hear that. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And for those who are... Oh, and here's a story. COVID-19 linked to increase in US pregnancy-related deaths. And that's so sad. COVID-19 linked to increase in US pregnancy-related deaths. COVID-19 drove a dramatic increase in the number of women who died from pregnancy or childbirth complications in the US last year, a crisis that has disproportionately claimed Black and Hispanic women as victims, according to a report released today. The report lays out grim trends across the country for expectant mothers and their newborn babies. It finds that pregnancy-related deaths have spiked nearly 80% since 2018, with COVID-19 being a factor in a quarter of the 1,178 deaths reported last year. The percentage of preterm and low birth weight babies also went up last year after holding steady for years. And more pregnant or postpartum women are reporting symptoms of depression. So sorry to hear of this. Really sorry. May their souls rest in peace and light perpetually shine on their faces. Another of the, well, one of the weekly stories, gas prices down by $4.50, diesel up by $3.06. That's another of the items. As we said, there was another, there's a story about, I'm just trying to remember where. There's the information, the fact that for the first time in the history of Jamaica, I think I just didn't want to say too much because I want to get the exact wording with respect to English Premier League football being available on free-to-air TV, as in CVM TV. So that's one of the stories I've been reading. And I'm now trying to retrieve which platform the story is on to be able to share it if you missed it. And for the life of me, I can't seem to retrieve. Oh, I think it was on, here we go. It was on Twitter. It was on Twitter. So the story is, Verticast Media have announced that Premier League action will air on CVM TV beginning 9 o'clock this coming Saturday, 9 in the morning, and every Saturday thereafter for the rest of the 2022-2023 season. So the story is, CVM TV introduces Premier League Saturdays. The English Premier League from England, or the Premier League from England, will broadcast on free-to-air television in Jamaica for the first time, starting this Saturday, October 22nd, in a pioneering move. Verticast Media Group, which recently acquired CVM TV, announced the first of its planned program additions to the CVM TV lineup, Premier League Saturdays. Premier League Saturdays will feature one Premier League live match every Saturday at 9 a.m. for the remainder of the 2022-2023 season, beginning this Saturday with title holders and current second-place team Manchester City, led by Erling Holland taking on Brighton and Hove Albion FC. Then on October 29 on Premier League Saturday, Leon Bailey's Aston Villa will do battle with Newcastle United. Most fans of the Premier League would not know of a time when you could watch a Premier League game on free-to-air TV until now, said Carlo Redwood, Chief Commercial Officer of Verticast Media Group. Through our acquisition of CVM TV, our own regional sports and channels, C-Sport and other initiatives, our goal is to transform regional and local television.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
World Food Day is celebrated annually on October 16 to promote global awareness and action for those who suffer from hunger and to highlight the need to ensure healthy diets for all. This Thursday, October 20, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries will celebrate World Food Day under the theme, Leave No One Behind. Better production, better nutrition, a better environment, and a better life at the Vere Technical High School in Clarendon. Join Power 106 FM for a special live broadcast of Power Talk when we'll tell you all about it. This broadcast is brought to you by the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Sugar Aggregates, and the Sugar Industry Authority. That's a broadcast of Power Talk from Vere Technical High School celebrating World Food Day this Thursday, October 20, right here on Power 106 FM.
Oh, but she was fair, the hills flamed upwards calling, death and failure here. I saw through the midst of morning, a wave like a sea set free. Faith to the dawn returning, God kind bright unity.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:13. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5:13. 现在几点了？5点加13分。13 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Let's clear some more of these messages. 876-922-4112-5 are the numbers to call. 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. There's another of the stories having to do with Ukraine and Russia. But I think that story has been taken off the site already, off the Gleaners site. They're putting up new stories. And that terrible story of the sexual assault of a woman in Manchester, the police constable and 2 Jamaica Public Service Company contractors implicated in the sexual assault of a woman in Manchester were granted $850,000 bail following an appearance before the parish court today. Prosecutors strongly opposed the bail applications for Durant Brown, a cop stationed in St. Catherine, and Eric Grant and Devany Bogle, they expressed concerns that the men or their agents could interfere with witnesses, but defense lawyers countered, arguing, among other things, that the risk of the men absconding bail was low. Attorney at law Alexander Shaw, who represents the policeman, insisted that his client had a constitutional right to bail and he should not be denied merely because he was a cop. The lawyer for the other two men, Chadwick Berry, argued similar grounds. Parish Judge Monique Harrison said the prosecution did not demonstrate that the risks were insurmountable and granted the applications for bail. A travel order has been imposed on them, and they are to turn over their travel documents to the authorities. The men are to return to court on November 16. It's alleged that the three went to a house in Manchester on October 11, where they allegedly discovered illegal power connections. It's reported that the men solicited sex in return for not reporting the woman. She rejected the offer, prosecutors told the court. However, the woman contended that the men ignored her response and assaulted her. The policeman has been charged with grievous sexual assault and corruptly soliciting and corruptly accepting. Well, let's just jump over that. The children are listening. And Grant and Bogle, who are from Kingston, have been charged with rape, along with corruptly soliciting and corruptly accepting sex. Attorney at law Christopher Townsend also represents both men, but he was not in court today. Oh boy. Well, the matter will be dealt with in court. Let's see what happens. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5 and your text messages and WhatsApp messages on 876-365-3346. Message just popped up from Calvin in North York, Ontario, Canada. Looks like a recording which we won't be able to audition before playing it on air. Sorry about that, Calvin. Didn't come in time. And so we've had to move on from there. But thank you very much for sharing. We are always happy to have information shared with us from Jamaicans at home and abroad. Thank you very much. Seeing a story. Hold on. All right, we'll perhaps come back to that. We'll come back to that another time, perhaps. But in the meantime, there's a story of some probe in exam teaching. Steertown Academy in St. Anne being investigated by the Education Ministry for alleged academic misconduct. We have to, no doubt parents and guardians and educators do, but we can't do it enough in terms of instilling in our children, our charges, those in our care, the importance of honesty. It's no use cheating, because at some point when the rubber hits the road, at some point the truth is going to come out. Your incompetence is going to reveal itself, We just have to continue to impress upon our children the importance of honesty. Honesty is still the best policy. Our children need to know that. Honesty is still the best policy. Velta Wilson says, I am back. Well, you're back when we're about to take our leave. Right. So in a little while. In the meantime, let's remind you that you can register for the Grace Kennedy lecture series, the 34th annual Grace Kennedy lecture, under the theme A Century of Excellence, Grace Kennedy's Recipe for Success. It will feature Dr. Fred Kennedy, educator, author, and chair of the Grace Kennedy Foundation, the Honorable Douglas Orain, CD, retired chairman and CEO of Grace Kennedy, and Senator Don Webby, the current CEO of the Grace Kennedy Group. So you just need to Google Grace Kennedy or go to gracekennedy.com and you'll see the pop-up and you'll know what to do. Just follow the instructions from there. How about that? It will be worth it, no doubt. So I've just been introduced to C Sport. I just downloaded the app. Now I can see the various matches, Premier League replays, and so on and so forth. So that's one of the platforms that will be carrying Premier League football. And so it is. Football is a big deal, apparently. Big deal. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Wednesday, the 19th of October, 2022. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
I saw through the midst of morning a wave like a sea set free. Faith to the dawn returning, dark tide bright unity. I saw my friends in the morning. They come from an equal grade. Build now as time is burning. Forward before it's late. I saw through the mist of morning a wave like a sea set free. Faith to the dawn returning, dark tide unity. I saw my friends in the morning. They call from an equal grade. You know what's time is burning. Forward, behind,
listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's News at 5.